IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Delighted as always to be joined by Maxi Hughes. Max, before we talk about this huge fight that's come up for yourself and a fight that you deserve because you've worked hard for it, how's things, man? How's the family? How's life? Everything good?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, finishing up at work. I've got a little project building a shed in my garden, which is keeping me busy as well. But yeah, everything's all good. Yeah, the sun's been out. Finally got over England getting beat. I think just about got over that.
Listen, I don't want to talk about this England game because being a Scotsman, we always want England to lose, obviously. But, yeah. Man, to lose in the final, man, that's heart wrenching. I know for Scotland just to get through the group stages, I think that's our final. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Listen, World Cup's around the corner now, man. I think you've got a good chance with that young squad.
Definitely, yeah.
Anyway, enough of England. Enough of that. What a fight you've got coming up against Giovanni Straffon, a Mexican fighter for the IBO World Title. I knew about it. Somebody leaked it to me a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, "Wow, what a fight!" So, Maxi, what a fight, man! Your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I'm excited and really happy about the opportunity. So yeah, again, I'm stepping up. After beating John O'Carroll, I've proved that it wasn't a fluke by beating Kotochigov, picking up the British title. So I've earned my shot. And I'm delighted. I'm living the dream, and I will be properly living the dream after next week because I'll be training full time. Like I said over there, I'm going to be a proper boxer this time, doing it properly.
That's it. I mean, every time I speak to you, you said, "Oh, I can't do this interview. I'm at work." I'm like, "Man, you're a painter, a decorator, man. You go about doing your work, and it's mad to think that a British champion who's fighting for the IBO World Title is still working his 9 to 5 as a painter and decorator, man. But like you said, you're a proper boxer coming by the end of next week, so 6 weeks camp. No, was it? It must be a 6-7 week training camp.
7 weeks. 7 weeks tomorrow is the fight. So yeah, I'll have a good 6 week training. I have known about the fight for a good five weeks, I think. So I have been training. I was already in gym before getting call anyway. I was going in gym, taking over, practicing and stuff. So yeah, having 6 weeks full time, it's going to be brilliant. I'm looking forward to it.
What's the longest you've had full time to train for a fight? Like I do know everyone knows that you do graft away at your work. So what is the longest time you've had off to prepare for a fight?
I did used to take time off. I think for the second, when I fought Martin Ward for the British title a few years ago, I think I had 8 weeks off then. After that, it stopped sort of. I got more busier with work, and I just thought I got took on books with work as well, so I was no longer a subby. So it was harder to get time off and stuff, and I just thought I'll just work harder. I'll just get up earlier and I'll just work harder and I'll just make it work.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to think of the future, thinking if I can still work, I don't have to dip into my fight money when the fight comes, so it can be more of a savings part, rather than having to use it. But that worked out, and for my past 3 fights, that was working. But I feel like these last couple of weeks, whether it's the heat or everything stepping up, I do generally feel a little bit more tired at work, and I'm thinking I can't wait to be off just to not be doing what I'm doing now, so I can be resting.
Definitely.
So I can have a proper rest.
Yeah, definitely. That's what you need, because this is probably the biggest fight of your career, because the IBO World Title isn't recognised as the top 4 and stuff like that. It's definitely a bargaining tool. It's definitely something you can use to bargain your way into the bigger fights. Now, Straffon, for the British public, we know who he is. We've seen, you know what I mean? We've seen what he done against Tennyson in the first round, knocked him out, stopped him in the first round. What do you take from that fight then? Obviously, there's not much to take from it, but he's got a high KO percentage. in 17 knockouts. Do you know what I mean? In 27 fights, I think it is. So, I mean, he's got the power. What do you have to do to win this fight? Stay away from, obviously, his power shots.
Simple tactics. Go in there, get me running trainers on. Just don't get hit for 12 rounds.
You've got to throw some punches back. That's
yeah. Well, yeah, like going back, watching the Tennyson fight, it's clear to see his record is a power puncher. I've managed to, like, when I had a look on YouTube, there were barely any footage of him in his other fights. So I've had somebody who was good at digging around, and he's found a couple of fights where he's gone off at distance. And I think other than his power, he's not great technically. Obviously, it's going to be different when I get in there. You know, there might be a few hidden tricks he's got, what you can't see on the outside. But I'll just be preparing for an all-round tough 12-round fight by looking at him. You know, he likes to fight, as all Mexicans do. It's just what they do. So just don't stand and mix with him. You know, I've got to be skillful. I've got to be super fit. My footwork's got to be on point, and just clever and clinical stuff that I know I can do. You know, stuff that I pretty much did in my last performance. And I think the way to work a Mexican is don't try and him to the head. It's, you know, body shots. You know, no matter how tough you are with head shots, you'll never hurt a Mexican throwing shots to the head. The way to do it is go downstairs. And looking at my last performance against Paul Ireland, the body shots were the key to me getting that victory. So, you know, I've shown I can decent body puncher. So we'll just bring that into equation more and see what we can work with. But yeah, that's the plan. He's dangerous, and you know, I'm 100% up for the fight. I know what's in front of me, but it's a fight I believe I've got it in my locker to beat him.
Do we read too much into these Mexicans coming over and unknown Mexicans coming over here and getting the win? Because we have seen them do it, but we have seen some Mexicans come over here and not get the win, but it doesn't seem to be talked about. But we are reading. Do you feel like we're reading too much in these Mexicans coming over here and upsetting the apple cart, so to speak?
Yeah, I think so. I know there has been a couple as of late. Well, I think it's probably been 3, hasn't it? You've had Straffon who upset Tennyson. You've had Lara who upset Josh. And I think it was a Mexican who beat Robbie Davis Jr., wasn't it?
Yep, that's right.
So that's 3. But not only that, on the last MTK show, Paul Butler beat a Mexican. He had him down in first round. Archie Sharp boxed one last week, and you know, Archie Sharp dealt with him a couple of years ago. One I can remember when Kevin Mitchell in his was it an eliminator for World Title, were it, when he boxed something like DeSantos, something like that. He absolutely put on a boxing masterclass. So, you know, and there is that old saying that we're on about this with Josh and Jim. You know, when let's say a Mexican comes over and they're no good, and somebody from Britain will beat them, like, oh, you know, typical Mexican road sweeper. So, you know, there is that as well. So, you know, obviously you've got to be careful because, you know, it's not just Mexicans. I think in general, South American fighters are just, you know, they have an harder life than us, don't they? It's a tougher life. So they're tough lads, but you know, I don't think they're all machines. Every Mexican that puts a pair of boxing gloves on is not an absolute sensation. There's just been a few lately, which has caused an upset, but it's no more than any other fighter causing upset. So I'm not looking too much into it. I'll make sure I get the job done, then I'll be called what's it called? Mexican Slayer.
Yeah.
Call me the Mexican Slayer.
Yeah. Well, listen. It is a tough fight for yourself, but one you deserve, because you mentioned the John O'Carroll fight, which a lot of people didn't think you would win. Then you went on to beat Kochikov out in Dubai. Then you went on again to beat Paul Highland Jr. What's been the catalyst to this sort of resurgence in your career? What's changed? Has anything changed, or has it just been the right time for you, the right moment? Can you pinpoint a catalyst of what sparked this sort of like?
I can't pinpoint one single thing. I guess you could say I'm coming into my peak. Just really enjoying it. The team I've got, current team I've got around me, you know, the gym, everybody, we all enjoy it. I guess I've always had that ability. I think the main thing what's let me down in past in the bigger fights is, I think, self-confidence.
Yeah.
And momentum. You know, I'd work my way into a position to fight for a British or, you know, a title, and it wouldn't go my way. So I'd maybe go on thinking, oh, I'm just not good enough. I remember crying after getting beat by Sam Bowen, thinking, I'm not good enough. I'm never going to win, you know, a good domestic title. And it were heartbreaking. And that's when I did, you know, really got low, and I thought, I'm not good enough here. Obviously, getting them wins and the momentum now, having 3 solid wins on bounce, it's almost like, you know, people have always said, you know, you are good enough to win, let's say, a British title, or, you know, someone on the domestic scene. So now I've got that, it's like, yeah, told you so. So now that I've got that momentum, I'm carrying that and really believing. So I'm carrying all this going into this next fight, and now I sit here and tell you, I do believe I'm going to win. I'm going to go out there and take his belt off him.
The IBO World Title, man. What does that mean to you in your career? I mean, did you ever think you'd get this opportunity? And what does it mean to you right now? Do you think?
I'm over the moon, really over the moon. I never, when I first set out to turn professional, I always put the world champions up on a pedestal, you know, and I never even thought about, you know, like you say, oh, you world champions, you can fit them in, you know, that they're a very small elite group of people, you know, which they are, and it's tough. And I always set myself, I didn't really, when I turned over, I didn't have no major ambitions. I just wanted to see how far I could go. And then after a few fights, I started sparring with Gary Sykes, who was current British champion at the time. And I thought, oh, you know what? I'd like to be British champion. So then my goals were always British champion. And pretty much majority of my career, I have been chasing that British title, and that's remained my goal. Not even thinking past that, just thinking British. I want that British title. And, you know, I've sparred many world champions over my career and always done really well. You know, people say, you know, aim a bit higher than a British title, because what you're doing right now in gym is good enough. And then obviously with the current run that I've had and being rated by the WBC in their top 15, you know, it's like, you know what, I am, you know, it's coming. And I know the IBO is not one of the main 4, but it should put me up there, hopefully, in all the 4 rankings, in all 4 top 15, or hopefully top 10, because it is still a version of a world title. So, you know, that it means that it could be my ticket to go and fight for one of the 4 major ones. You know, for years, Golovkin, that's the one that he had, and, you know, it was his ticket to America, wasn't it, to set up his fights to win his other world title. So hopefully this means that it can be my ticket to America.
See, the thing is, you're saying it with, and you had a little smirk and a giggle at the end of that there, but Maxi, we've seen people get a shot at a world title off the back of a WBO European title win, an IBF international title win. So for you to face like either Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis, I don't know, heck, Lomachenko, let's just throw him in there as well. Any of these top guys, I mean, it's not unheard of. Do you know
well, winning this belt, I'm going to be amongst them, aren't I? That's where I'm going to be. So that's what I'm sort of chasing. You know, I'm not looking past Straffon, but I know I can beat him. And then once I've got that belt, that's where I am. I'm in that top 10 in that, like all them, you know, like we're on about again in Bolton, my last fight. The lightweight division is red hot at the minute, and there's so many good names and big fights that can be made, and that's where I want to be.
you think what's the easiest fight for you to get then? Let's say, because obviously boxing is a crazy sport. We have seen crazy things happen before. You're a prime example. Like nobody thought Maxi Hughes come end of 2019, coming to 2021 would be in this position. So boxing, you've worked hard for it, you deserve it. So out of these guys in the top four, which is the easiest fight to make, do you believe? We know Devin Haney, I know you're not signed to any sort of big promoter or that, but what would you say is the easiest fight for you to get an opportunity at one of these big guys?
I'd really like the Haney fight, because this is on a matchroom bill. I've signed the fight contract, which winning the fight will make me into a 2-fight deal with matchroom, and I think I know it. I don't know if he said he's still going to work with Eddie, and didn't he? Did Devin Haney lately? So you'd hope that can be an easy fight to be made. I know he's chasing, what's his name, Lopez. Obviously, he's going to want all the belts, but at minute them two are with different promotions. Lopez has got to have his fight with Cambosos, which is an interesting fight. I actually think there could potentially be an upset there with Cambosos. But either way, Haney's sort of looking at that, but that fight's now been pushed back. So if the dates are going to work, Haney will probably want to be out before end of year, as will I. So if I can, get Straffon out way, we can sit down with Eddie and say, look, I've earned my shot now. Please let me go to America and give me my chance to see how good I am against the top guys.
Listen, Maxi, I don't want to I think that you deserve your shot because you're hard working, but like I said to you, boxing's a crazy sport. I've seen crazy things happen in it, so it's not it's crazy to think that you can get your shot at one of these guys. Do you know what I mean? It's a mental sport, and I've seen it happen before. But this is a Yorkshire versus Mexico feel on this card. You've got you versus Straffon, and you've also got your gym mate now in Josh Warrington against Mauricio Lara. I mean, tough fight for Josh, but you see him in the gym. I've seen clips of him in the gym. How determined and how focused is Josh Warrington heading into this rematch?
He's so eager and he's so pumped up for this fight. Like we both went sparring to another gym on Monday night. We went to another gym, and he loved it. After he did 6 rounds first, then I got in a man, and afterwards we were talking. He says, I absolutely loved it. He says that I can't wait. Like Sean's give us both, says, right, for this camp we're doing 120 rounds sparring, and that was sort of our first ones, and we've still got over 100 rounds to get done. He said, I can't wait, and he's so up for it. Once he got over the fight and over his injuries, he's straight back. He says, I can't wait to put it right because I know I'm better. So it's going to be exciting and to be part of that. And obviously it's under different circumstances now. There's going to be 20,000 Yorkshire folks screaming there, and I wouldn't imagine there's too many coming from Mexico. So it's going to be a different environment for Mexicans altogether.
Well, that's it. I think 20,000 Yorkshiremen is a scary thought for a lot of people. But I don't think Mexicans. I mean, they're a different breed in terms of the way they're 100% focused. They're fighting men, so it might not deter them. But again, it's
going to be nice. I'd rather have them on my side than against me.
Exactly.
Yeah. 20,000 Yorkshire puddings screaming, tops off, swinging round.
Yeah, that's it. Get the bitter. Get the. I don't know what you drink down there. Is it bitter? Lager?
A bit of all sorts, snake bites, you name
it. Maxi, listen, one final word from yourself then. It's a tough task for yourself. It's a tough fight. It's a good fight. It's a fight you deserve.
Yeah.
So what can the fans, you mentioned the 20,000 fans at Headingley, what can they expect from yourself on September 4th?
Just expect a Maxi Hughes win and Maxi Hughes to be raising that IBO title. Hook or by crook, I'll get the win, whether we can hurt him to the body or whether I have to outbox him for 12 rounds. there's no way my hand's not getting raised on night after my current form and the way I'm feeling physically, mentally. I'm going out there. I'm going to shock the world.
Listen, do it, mate. You deserve it, mate, because you've came up the long way, and some might say you came up the hard way, but I can still see paint. I can still see paint all over your arms.
Yeah, there's got these white eyelashes from spraying today. Got your thing lathered in black paint and all.
You got the black. Go and get a shower, mate, and have your tea. Listen, one final week at work, and you get back straight into camp, a 6-week camp, a hard camp. So good luck September 4th. I don't know if I'll be at the fight. If not, I'll be watching. So good luck, and listen, all the best, my man.
Yeah, cheers, Andy. Thanks for having me on, pal.
Anytime, always, Maxi. Cheers, brother.
Yeah, see you soon, mate. Bye.